I want you to think about something that happens almost every day. A dog waits by a door, a cat watches you from across a room, a crow follows you with its eyes from the top of a streetlight, and somewhere in the ocean, a whale passes through an entire world without ever knowing your name. We spend our lives looking at animals, studying them, naming them, classifying them. But almost never do we stop to consider the opposite perspective. What do they see when they look at us? Not what they feel, not whether they like us, not whether they trust us. Something stranger. What do they actually think we are? Because humans live inside stories. We think of ourselves as people with names, careers, memories, ambitions, phones, houses, and complicated lives unfolding inside our heads. Animals do not know any of that. A deer does not know you have a mortgage. A crow does not know your political beliefs. A dog does not know what you studied in college. To them, none of those things exist. They judge us through smell, sound, movement, routine, behavior. And when you remove everything else, something fascinating happens. The version of you that exists in the animal kingdom is very different from the version you imagine yourself to be, which raises a strange possibility. Maybe the real question is not whether animals understand humans. Maybe the better question is this: what kind of creature do they think we are? Dogs may come closer to understanding us than any other animal on Earth, not because they know what we are, but because they have spent tens of thousands of years watching us. Human beings and dogs evolved together, not as equals, not as masters and servants, but as partners navigating the same uncertain world. Today, dogs can read human gestures better than many other species. They follow our pointing fingers, recognize our facial expressions, detect emotional changes hidden beneath our voices. Some studies suggest they can even distinguish between happy and angry human faces. But here's the important part. A dog does not think you are another dog, knows you're different, you smell different, move differently, look different. Your body makes no sense by canine standards. You walk on two legs, you have tiny teeth. Your sense of smell is embarrassingly weak, and yet somehow you possess unlimited access to food. To a dog, this is a remarkable trait. Imagine watching a strange creature that cannot track scents properly, cannot run especially fast, and cannot hear nearly as well as you can. Yet every day, that creature opens magical containers and produces snacks from nowhere. Over time, dogs appear to place humans inside their social world, not as dogs, but as members of the pack. A very unusual kind of pack member. When you return home after work, you're not simply arriving back at your house. In your dog's mind, a significant social event may have just occurred. A reunion, the return of an important companion, a provider, a protector, a familiar presence whose absence mattered. To a dog, you are something like an upright pack member with terrible senses and godlike control over resources. That is what a human looks like through canine eyes. But cats are different. Cats always seem different. Where dogs integrated themselves into human society, cats took another path entirely. For much of history, they simply appeared, following grain stores, following rodents, following opportunities. In a sense, cats domesticated themselves, and perhaps that explains why their view of humans feels so different. A cat also knows you are not a cat. The size difference alone makes that obvious. You are larger, louder, far less graceful. You stumble into furniture. You knock things over. You need ladders to reach places a cat reaches effortlessly. From a feline perspective, your physical competence is questionable. Yet something curious happens. Cats often interact with humans using many of the same social behaviors they use with other cats. They rub against us. They slow blink at us. They sleep near us. Some even bring us prey. Behavior normally reserved for trusted social companions. And then there is the meow. Adult cats rarely meow at each other. It is largely a communication system aimed at humans, a custom-built language, an adaptation designed specifically for us. Think about how strange that is. An entire species modified part of its communication strategy because of a relationship with another species. Cats are not worshipping humans. They are not serving humans. and they probably do not see us as owners. If anything, they seem to treat us as social equals with unusual habits. Large creatures who can be influenced, managed, conditioned, trainable giants. That is what a human may look like inside a cat's mind. Now consider a horse. The perspective changes completely, because horses evolved not as predators, but as prey. For millions of years, survival depended on reading danger before danger arrived. Every muscle twitch mattered. Every posture shift mattered. Every subtle movement carried information. To a horse, words are almost irrelevant. Your body tells the real story, the tension in your shoulders, the rhythm of your breathing, the confidence in your movements, the uncertainty hidden beneath your posture. A horse notices these things long before it understands anything else. And this creates a strange paradox. Humans look like predators. Forward-facing eyes, direct movement, focused attention. Many of the visual signals predators display, yet our behavior often contradicts that classification. We offer food, we groom, we provide safety, we stay. For a horse, this creates a puzzle, a predator-shaped creature that repeatedly behaves like a companion. Eventually, many horses appear to resolve this contradiction through trust. Humans become familiar, predictable, safe, not because they understand us, but because they understand our patterns. To a horse, a human may be a strange herd member whose intentions are communicated entirely through movement. And this is where things become even more fascinating, because some animals do not simply recognize humans, they recognize specific humans. Consider crows, or ravens, or certain parrots. These animals possess a level of social intelligence that can feel almost unsettling. Researchers have discovered that crows can remember human faces for years, not days. Years. If a person threatens a crow, that individual can become permanently cataloged as a danger. Even more remarkably, crows appear capable of sharing that information. One bird learns, others remember. A human face becomes part of the group's collective knowledge. Think about what that means. Somewhere above our cities, birds may be carrying social records about specific people, not humanity in general, individuals. To a crow, humans are not one category. They are many categories: friendly, dangerous, predictable, unpredictable, useful, threatening. Each person becomes their own profile, their own entry in an invisible database. Parrots take this even further. Many companion parrots form relationships so complex that humans can become flock members, rivals, companions, or parental figures depending on context. To these birds, we are giant wingless creatures who somehow control light, temperature, shelter, and food distribution. Creatures with impossible powers. Creatures who command the environment itself. That is what a human can look like through avian eyes. But outside our homes, outside our farms, outside our carefully constructed relationships with domesticated animals, another perspective begins to emerge. A much colder one. Imagine a deer standing at the edge of a forest. It sees you. For a moment, it freezes. Its entire nervous system calculates distance, speed, direction, risk. It does not care about your personality. It does not care about your dreams. It does not care whether you are kind. It only cares about one question. Are you dangerous? For many wild animals, human identity is radically simplified. Not person, not individual, pattern, threat, safety, noise. Most of the time, that is enough. And in cities, something even stranger happens. Animals begin adapting so thoroughly to human presence that we stop being interpreted as living creatures at all. We become part of the environment. A squirrel does not necessarily experience every passing human as a unique being. Many become background motion, moving weather, walking architecture, temporary landscape features. To an urban squirrel, humans can resemble trees that occasionally drop food. To a raccoon, the meaning of civilization may be even simpler. We look at cities and see governments, economics, technology, culture, and history. A raccoon sees trash cans. Those boxes contain food. Everything else is irrelevant. Entire systems of human achievement collapse into a single function: producing leftovers. From that perspective, our civilization begins to look like an enormous machine dedicated to generating snacks. And suddenly, human greatness appears much smaller, not because it isn't impressive, but because most animals experience only the consequences, never the intention. Marine animals offer another perspective entirely, one shaped by an environment where humans are visitors rather than residents. Dolphins often display curiosity toward people. From their perspective, we are bizarre creatures. We move awkwardly, swim inefficiently, require equipment to survive underwater, and constantly release streams of bubbles. Imagine encountering a species that enters your world wearing artificial organs just to remain alive. That is essentially what we look like. A fascinating anomaly. An intelligent but physically limited animal trying to function in a place it was never designed for. Whales may see us differently, or perhaps they barely see us at all. A blue whale can grow longer than many buildings, heavier than dozens of elephants combined. Compared to such scale, a human is almost insignificant, like a small bird fluttering beside a skyscraper. Yet whales often display remarkable gentleness around people, not because they understand our culture, not because they understand our intentions, but because they understand size, momentum, fragility. They navigate a world where collisions matter, and in that world, humans are fragile things, tiny things, things that break easily. That is what we look like from the perspective of giants. And then we arrive at perhaps the strangest perspective of all, the octopus. If dogs feel familiar and whales feel vast, octopuses feel alien, not metaphorically, biologically. Their evolutionary path diverged from ours hundreds of millions of years ago. Their bodies operate according to principles that seem almost impossible. They have arms capable of acting with surprising independence, skin that responds dynamically to the environment, a nervous system distributed throughout the body. They experience reality in ways we can barely imagine. An octopus is not simply another intelligent animal, is intelligence built on a completely different blueprint. Yet even here, recognition emerges. Octopuses in aquariums have demonstrated the ability to distinguish between individual human caretakers. Some react differently depending on who approaches. Some appear curious, some indifferent, some cautious. Which means that even across one of the largest cognitive divides on Earth, a pattern still forms. The octopus may not understand what a human is, but it understands that different humans produce different outcomes. One person brings food, another cleans the tank, another changes the environment. The details remain mysterious. The pattern remains clear. To an octopus, a human may be a massive, predictable force existing beyond a transparent boundary, a phenomenon connected to change itself. And perhaps that observation reveals something deeper. Across dogs, cats, horses, birds, deer, raccoons, dolphins, whales, octopuses, a common theme begins to emerge. Animals do not experience humans the way humans experience humans. They do not know our stories. They do not know our identities. They do not know the private narratives constantly unfolding inside our minds. Instead, they know our patterns. The sound of keys before departure, the opening of a can before feeding, the posture that signals danger, the face associated with kindness, the scent associated with safety, the movement associated with threat. Behavior becomes identity. Nothing else translates. And perhaps that is the most humbling realization of all. Humans often imagine themselves as the central characters of Earth, the species that names everything, studies everything, defines everything. But outside the boundaries of human language, another reality exists. Millions of eyes are watching us, measuring us, interpreting us, classifying us, not according to our intentions, according to our actions. To much of the animal kingdom, you are not your memories, not your achievements, not your opinions. You are a pattern, a collection of repeated behaviors moving through space. And maybe there is something strangely honest about that, because beneath every story we tell about ourselves, there's ultimately only one thing the rest of life can truly see. What we do, not what we mean, not what we believe, not what we say, only what we do. The dog waiting at the door sees it. The crow in the streetlight sees it. The whale beneath the ocean sees it. The octopus behind the glass sees it. And the next time an animal looks back at you, there's a chance that for a brief moment, you are not observing nature at all. Nature is observing you, trying to decide what kind of creature you are. The answer will not come from your words, only from your behavior, because behavior is the only language every species can read. And long after our stories disappear into silence, that language is still being spoken.